Welcome back to another episode of Metal Album Warfares here on this gorgeous Saturday evening. Coming from the Metal Benmobile for this episode. But it might not stay gorgeous for long, because we're going to head into a world of darkness right now in this Metal Album Warfares episode. Of course, we're going to talk about some King Diamond. That's right. King Diamond solo and King Diamond with Mercyful Fate clashing in this episode. So let's get on to it. It's going to be the 1984 album released on Roadracer Records. I'm talking about Mercyful Fate with Don't Break the Oath versus an album that came out in 1986 on Roadracer Records, which I believe was originally supposed to be the third Mercyful Fate album. Now, half of Mercyful Fate's still in this lineup. Of course, I'm talking about the debut solo effort by King Diamond, A Fatal Portrait. Yes. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Opening up with A Dangerous Meeting from Don't Break the Oath versus The Candle from A Fatal Portrait. Now, the Candle has a very dark, eerie, haunting-like intro. And then it turns into a fairly speedy track. Man, great guitar work, but again, when it comes to A Dangerous Meeting, it's got those classic Mercyful Fate riffs. You know, those memorable riffs and, harmony guitar leads that Mercyful Fate was known for. Now, which track am I going to go with here? I think I'm going to go with A Dangerous Meeting. I just think it's slightly better than The Candle. Up next, we got Nightmare versus The Jonah. Nightmare being from Don't Break the Oath. The Jonah being from Fatal Portrait, obviously. So, I'm going to have to go with Nightmare. Just a killer track. Okay, up next, we got Desecration of Souls from Don't Break the Oath, originally called A Night on a Full Moon. Back in the early days of Mercyful Fate, on the Return to the Vampire collection of demos and rarities, versus The Portrait from A Fatal Portrait. Sorry, I gotta go with Desecration of Souls. It's a better track. It's probably one of my favorites off of here. That was a tough one, kind of. But yeah, I'm going with Desecration of Souls. I just love the beginning riff. It's so dark and doomy. Anyways, we got Night of the Unborn versus Dressed in White. Dressed in White being from A Fatal Portrait. Night of the Unborn being from Don't Break the Oath. Don't Break the Oath, yes. Anyways, I'm going to go with Dressed in White on this one. I love the guitar riffs in this track. I love the leads that Andy LaRocque plays on this track. Incredible guitar solos. And Dressed in White was the very first thing I ever heard in my life from King Diamond. Way back when I was about 9 or 10 years old. Up next, we got The Oath versus Sharon. Ooh. Both great tracks. Oh man, again, I think I'm gonna go with The Oath. Gonna go with the Oath on this one. Okay, up next we got, oh boy, this might be a no contest here because this would probably be my favorite track on here, I think. Gypsy. Yeah, Gypsy versus Lurking in the Dark from A Fatal Portrait. You know, Gypsy being from Don't Break the Oath. I'm gonna go with Gypsy. Definitely, Gypsy is a freaking amazing track. Welcome Princess of Hell from Don't Break the Oath is next versus Halloween from Fatal Portrait. Freaking brain's freezing up. It must be this freaking sun. I'm gonna go with Halloween on this one. Halloween's one of my favorite King Diamond tracks. You know, I think it's a great track, you know. Okay, up next we got 2-1 Far Away from Don't Break the Oath versus Voices from the Past from A Fatal Portrait. Gonna go with Voices of the Past for this one. It's a better track. And last tracks. Come to the Sabbath from Don't Break the Oath, obviously, versus Haunted from A Fatal Portrait. A great track too, but Come to the Sabbath wins. You know what? Don't Break the Oath pretty much dominated A Fatal Portrait. Now, this is still a good album. Don't get me wrong. I love this album, but to me, this album's just a bit more iconic. So Don't Break the Oath by Mercyful Fate wins. You know, great album. I don't know, leave your comments down below and tell me which album you like better. You know? Anyway, stay tuned for more on Metal Ben's Chronicles. Keep it metal.